Hey Yakater, hope you're doing well, and today we're back with some more Minecraft Dungeons, and today I want to be making the best bow-focused loadout. So I've done this before, but I was making the best sword or melee-focused loadout, but this time I want to be trying to do it with a bow. So I've actually got my loadout all ready here, and I just want to say first, bows aren't really my area of expertise, I will say. Basically, as soon as I found the harp crossbow and how broken it is for crowd control, I basically just grabbed this and then used it ever since. But I think I've cooked up something pretty good here. So first we're going to start with the armor. I feel like the archer's armor is the only one that made sense. You get some extra arrows and damage for your bow. You know, I feel like that's pretty, no-brainer compared to all the other armors. For enchantments, I was trying so hard to get this recycler enchantment. You get extra arrows like for every time you get hit. I honestly tried for like 40 or 50 minutes to try to get this enchantment and I could not get it. So I just gave up because it's stupid. So instead we're gonna get cooldown twice and then deflect, just help deflect some of the arrows coming my way. Though ideally deflect or this cooldown would be the recycling enchantment, but sadly I couldn't get it, so whatever. Next up for the artifacts, we have the Tomb of Duplication, just because I want to be able to grab some arrows and then duplicate a ton of them. Next up we have the Flaming Quiver, and I would use a Thundering Quiver, but this one gives me 2 extra arrows and this bow just eats arrows, so I think I'm going to use that instead. And then for my last artifact, I'm going to be using the Torment Quiver just because I want to get a little bit extra souls. And this quiver is not too bad. I don't know how much I'll use it, but I do want it. And then for the sword, I'm just not going to use a sword because this is a bow-focused loadout. So, I mean, why use a sword? Also, sword enchantments, as far as I can tell, none of them affect bows. So, might as well not use it. And then for the actual bow, I'm going to be using the mechanical Shortbow. And I know if I use like the elite power bow, something like that, I could get some crazy high damage numbers. But the reason I want to be using the mechanical Shortbow is because I actually used a bow like this in the tower, and it had some interesting enchantments on it that made me think it was actually pretty good. So first off, we have Overcharge. So the longer I hold back my weapon, it can quadruple my weapon's damage, which is pretty good. And the nice thing about these bows is you have to hold them back so little that multi-charge comes up basically instantly. Next up, I'm going to get Supercharged because this just gives me basically extra damage for charge shots. And like I just showed you, I'm basically going to have charge shots all the time. So that extra damage is going to be nice. And I'm going to have power just for some even more damage because these short bows don't do as much damage, but hopefully with these, it should be doing some pretty good damage. I kind of want to try to get chain reaction here or like deflect or whatever one goes through multiple enemies because I thought that'd be fun, but yet again, I tried forever and couldn't get it, so whatever. Also, note, this cooldown shot is insane with a short bow. I tried it out. It is really good. I had it on the mechanical short bow and it was crazy. The main reason I didn't go for it on the bow is because the artifacts for the bow, I feel like are kind of secondary. I feel like the bow itself should be doing most of it. And to be honest, these two are using soul, so they don't have a cooldown anyway. I also tried critical hit on this bow, and that was also pretty insane. As you can see, it does 5 million damage, and it shoots really quick because of that multi-charge. And it's only going to shoot quicker and quicker because it has accelerate. And it is pretty insane. The only thing is it's going to eat arrows. So yeah, it is pretty insane if you can get the timing right. It's a little bit tricky. If I just spam, I'm still doing like a 1 million damage, which is pretty good. So I think this loadout's pretty solid. I don't want to test it out. And like I said, I'm sure like if I used like a different bow that I can actually charge back more, like the elite power bow, I'm sure I could do something where I get even higher damage. I don't know. But this one just seemed really fun. And it's a mechanic that I haven't really ever played with before. So let's go try this out. Let's just run a Soggy cave real quick. My power level is going to be pretty low because I don't have a sword. Let's just start with Apocalypse plus 20. If we breeze through it, then we can go up in power level. Let's just try this out. This bow kind of one-shots a lot of things. This is only on Apocalypse plus 20, so not 25, but it does a lot. Alright, let's see how it holds crowds off. Not great. I need to get the timing down better. So if you hold it for a little too long, then you're wasting time, but if you don't hold it for long enough, then you're not getting your most damage. So it's tricky timing-wise. Also, I just need to find a thing of arrows, and then I can start duplicating them. Okay, I think I've played through this enough to realize that this is actually pretty good. So I'm going to go back to camp and turn up the difficulty, see how it handles on Apocalypse plus 25. Alright, and you know what? Let's just do this on Soggy Swamp. That way I can have a boss to fight at the end. And the other mobs will just be harder as well, so it'll give me a feeling in how I can defeat base mobs and a boss on Apocalypse plus 25. Okay, it looks like I still one-shot, even if I don't charge it back. If I do like 3 million damage, it seems to even one-shot the armor and mobs, which is pretty good. Also, I realized the deflect noise, was my armor deflecting, not a mob. Okay, it doesn't quite one-shot enchanted mobs, which is a downer. We got an enchanted witch, which is very annoying. I don't know, I'm kind of torn. It's hard to get the timing down right. I still think my harp crossbow is honestly probably better. And if I wanted, I could probably just use the same loadout, but switch out some of the quivers and just use my harp crossbow, and it'd probably do better than this, honestly. But I wanted to try something new. Okay, I feel like I've gotten a pretty good idea on how this loadout works though, so I'm going to speedrun just to the boss, that way I can get a true feeling for how it works against a boss, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I fear that my harp crossbow might actually be way better than the bow I made, because just speedrunning through this trying to get to the boss, this thing is just eating mobs. Maybe I should have just done like an elite power bow or something like that, but with the enchantments I have on the shortbow, I don't know. The shortbow just seemed kind of fun, you know? Spruce it up a little bit, make it kind of unique, but it's maybe not the best. And honestly, the harp crossbow might just be too good. Okay, I made it back to the boss, put my other loadout back on. Oh, and it does do some pretty good damage, actually. And I will say, I was running through this and I turned it down to Apocalypse plus 22 because I died just trying to speedrun Apocalypse plus 25, which is very annoying. But still, like, Apocalypse plus 22, it does do quite a bit of damage. It's just really not good for crowd control, which is what I personally like. I like my bow just being able to sweep mobs off the board. Okay, let's try a little bit harder of a boss. Let's try the Mooshroom monstrosity. We're gonna go just to Apocalypse plus 22 again, and we're just gonna run through it and try to defeat this boss. This boss is a little bit more beefy than the Cauldron, so we'll see if it's still quite as easy. Okay, I've made it to the boss. Let's try this out. Multi-charge. It still does, like, honestly, a good bit of damage, especially if I had, like, the firework arrow, which I think I actually do have. I might just pop that on, see what difference it does. But honestly, it's pretty good. I just like my crowd control so much. Ah, gosh, also these stupid shrooms do so much damage. Yeah, this is going pretty good, except for these stupid mushrooms are stupid and evil. But deflect can't be saving my butt, not gonna lie. Ow, what the heck? I got swarmed. Okay, it's fine. One more shot and this dude will be dead. I mean, it does one-shot quite a bit of mobs, but so does my harp crossbow is the thing. And it will one-shot a whole group of mobs. I just have to shoot once. Okay, sweet. While we beat it, I feel like this is just making me realize how OP the harp crossbow is. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure, like I've said before, I'm sure you could use like a normal bow and get some crazy high damage numbers. But I think the harp crossbow just might be the way to go. I mean, I'm sure you've seen, if you watched any of my videos, like, let me just do this with multi-shot. Look at that. That is so much damage. I just shot, I think it was 20 firework arrows, basically, because of how multi-shot works and the harp crossbow works. That is insane. That is crazy. So, honestly, I think this may have just made me realize that I think the harp crossbow might be one of the best bows in the game. Not gonna lie. If you got multi-shot on it, the harp crossbow might be crazy OP. But like I said at the beginning of this video, honestly, bows aren't, I don't know a lot of them. I don't know kind of the good way to make a good bow build. So honestly, please let me know your guys' recommendations, what I could do to make a crazy OP bow build. Because honestly, I'm kind of lost on this one. I feel like I did a decent job. I feel like the mechanical short bow, you know, this kind of was fun. But honestly, it just doesn't stack up to the insanity of the harp crossbow. But sadly, that will have to do it for today's video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you are new, I appreciate if you subscribe. If you like the video, new videos every Thursday. And remember to stay jolly.